Dissertation office hours. Today, we're going to talk about all things why, as a doctoral student, you fear getting the support that you need. It's important for us to start thinking about why would you remain complacent in the dissertation process when you can have support and get the help that you need to finish. Again, we're going to talk about this all day today, so make sure that you share this with a friend, get a colleague on who has been stuck in the dissertation process. I want to talk about those reasons why you fear getting support and what you can do to overcome those things. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation and host of Done Dissertation Office Hours. And at Done Dissertation, we help doctoral students write and defend their dissertation in 1 year or less. Episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program. The goal of the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program is to help you, the doctoral student, write and defend either your dissertation proposal or your final dissertation and get through the defense in the next 4 months. So if you're ready to finish the dissertation process quickly, you can visit www.velocitydissertation.com to apply for the program. And it's good to see everybody on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay, drop a comment and let me know where you're coming from. I love to know where folks are tuning in from. And if you're a doc student, let me know where you are in the process, or if you're faculty, let me know. I would love to hear from you all to kind of see where we all are. And as I always say, I want us to build community with one another because there are a lot of us going through this process alone, and I want to make sure that you are not one of them. So make sure that you drop in the comments where you are coming from. And again, today's conversation is all about why you fear investing in dissertation support. And this is an important topic because we hear a lot of folks who come to talk about us, and they have these various perceptions about what dissertation coaching is, why or why not they need it. And sometimes we just have a lot of misconceptions, but at the root of them, when we kind of peel back the layer, what I found from talking to so many doctoral students is that there's a fear associated with getting help. And so I want to break down what that fear is, what I've seen from our past clients, current clients, and those who have reached out to work with us, and how you can overcome them. In the first fear, right, that and reason why I see folks fearing getting dissertation support is because you're afraid that because you feel like right now you don't have the time to finish your dissertation, so it doesn't make any sense to get help. And what I found is when folks start talking about, I don't have any time to get coaching because I don't have time, I got too much going on at work, I got too much going on in life. What I'm here to let you all know is that your current reality is not changing anytime soon. Like literally, we all are busy professionals trying to do this thing, trying to get out of these doc programs. Even for my folks watching, if you're a full-time doc student, that timeline is coming up. You know that funding's getting ready to run out, and you have so many other things along with writing your dissertation. Probably working on your advisor on their projects, working on grants. All those things culminate to a very busy life. And for a lot of folks out here that reach out to us, they talk about that they don't have the time they need to invest in themselves to get this dissertation done, and so they're afraid. And recently, I had a conversation. Somebody that DM'd me and was saying, I can't work with a coach because I don't have time right now. I'm too busy. And my thing is, right, if you're too busy to get help to kind of restructure and reorganize your life to help you get through this process, you're never going to get through this dissertation. Because the fact is, if you've tried all of the solutions you've done on your own and you are still in the same place, it makes absolutely no sense to continue to spin around in circles when you can work with someone to get help. Even if it's us at the dissertation or someone else, it makes no sense at this point because my goal is to see doctoral students get out of the dissertation process. It makes absolutely no sense to be stuck spinning your wheels when you can get support to get out of the process. And, a lot of us, what ends up happening, we say we have, we're so busy, we don't have the time. But sometimes you need an outside person to kind of look at what does your life look like? What does your schedule look like? And sometimes we can just find bits and pieces of time where you can actually put the work in to get your dissertation done. Because what ends up happening, that fear of time is rooted in this belief, which we're kind of like perpetuated in doc programs, that in order to write your dissertation, you got to have these large chunk of times. You need to be doing this 2-hour daily writing practice. Or the fact that you might be looking at your colleague who's finishing faster and you ask them what they did, they said they're writing for 2 and 3 hours at a time. Trust and believe, when I was writing my dissertation, I had a full-time job and I literally was writing my dissertation. I wrote everything in 7 months by writing 30 to 60 minutes a day. It doesn't take a lot, but again, a lot of us think about time. We think about we don't have enough of it. And the fact that you may need somebody to kind of guide you and give a different look at your time, and you may schedule your time differently. And also with time, sometimes it's the idea that it's not even about the time. It's the belief that, am I really dedicated to finishing the dissertation? And that's a conversation you got to have with yourself. Like, am I dedicated to doing this thing and really pushing forward? And to give an example, I want to give a shout out to one of our now alum, Dr. Erin Sorensen, who just defended her dissertation last week at the University of Maryland, College Park. And when Erin came to start working with us in July, she had finished data collection, had almost finished through data analysis, and was getting ready to start writing up her findings chapters. And when she came to us, she had this belief that, the time I need to finish up these last couple of chapters was going to be sometime in 2023 when she was planning to graduate. And when I heard that in July of 2022, I'm like, no way. Like, you have collected your data and we're just writing this up. We can finish this thing faster. And I believe that you can write the rest of your chapters up and defend your dissertation within 4 months. And literally, she started working with us in July. In October, she defended her dissertation successfully. Like, y'all, it doesn't take a bunch of time, but because you're so afraid and you would rather sit in the belief that you don't have the time than figuring out, how do I make time to finish? That's the difference. When folks who work with us and they make that mindset shift, that they're willing to put the time in and do whatever it takes to have the time, the process goes by so quick. And for Dr. Sorensen, I mean, she was amazed. We had our conversation last week, and she just talked about, like, I did so much in such a short amount of time. And just to give you all a perspective of what she actually did, she ended up writing, she had her first 3 chapters done, and she ended up writing about 5 more chapters because she did a case study, and each chapter was talking about participants. So she wrote about 5 or 6 chapters in about 2.5 months, and then ran the chapters through her process through her chair and committee, and was able to defend within the 4 months. Like, literally, it just doesn't take a long time, but you have to be dedicated and willing to do whatever it takes to get this dissertation done. And this is why on our application, if you choose to apply to work with us, you'll see there's a particular question on there that we ask about: how much time do you have to dedicate to your dissertation? Because what I do know is, those of you all who believe or feel like you don't have any time to dedicate, you will not get this done, and you are not our ideal client. Because the folks that work with us, they know that they're a busy professional, they're busy, they have a lot going on, but they know that they're willing to do whatever it takes to find the time to finish. And so again, if you're one of those folks that say, I don't have any time, it's not going to happen, then we're not the people. Don't waste your time applying, because that is not the type of client we work with. We want people to find the time, and when you find the time, you will get things done. I just say I learned a lot about that from watching Dr. Sorensen's journey. And as you all will see, we did a offboarding interview, which I'll share with you all in the weeks to come. It's just the idea she had a lot of life setbacks that came through while she was writing, and those did not stop her, and she still found the time to finish. And she had all the challenges that many of you have with working, having children, spouse, all those things, all those responsibilities, and still finding the time to finish. Those are the type of people that really succeed in this journey and really working with us once they get our system and infrastructure, because then we can help you find the time. A lot of times you just need somebody to kind of push you and give you the time. So again, a lot of folks you may fear investing in dissertation support because you say, I don't have the time for all that. And best believe, if you don't feel like you have the time to get help, you definitely don't have the time to finish. And I know if you all keep saying, I want to finish, and now we're coming up on 2023, and I have a lot of people who at this point in 2021 were saying, new year, new me. And 2022 is my year, and you're still stuck in the same place. You really got to start looking at yourself and saying, have I given myself all the time that I need to finish? In most cases, you have not done so. Or if you have, you may need to increase the time dedicated to this process, may need a little bit more. And again, each of us have a different process and a different approach. So you got to be mindful of that in your journey. So again, that's the first thing I want to talk about when we talk about fear. If anything resonates with you all, if you have questions as you are listening to this, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to address them as they pop up. And thanks to, Wristwear joined on Instagram, and Maya Jillian. I don't know if you're still on, but thanks for tuning in on Instagram. And if you're on other platforms, please let me know. Sometimes I don't see the comments right away. So definitely drop a comment in and let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from. And again, this episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Coaching Program. It is a 4-month coaching experience with the goal to help you, the doctoral student, write and defend either your dissertation proposal or final defense in the next 4 months. That is our goal. So if you're interested and you want to finish the dissertation process quickly, and you are willing to invest in yourself and put the time in, an investment of time to get this done, I want you to visit www.velocitydissertation.com and apply for the program. And if somebody's on Instagram for me, you can type that in the comments for me. I'll pin it. Again, it's www.velocitydissertation.com. And you can find our application and learn more about our program and hear about some of our great alumni from the program and what they've been able to do while finishing their dissertation with us. And so again, I'm hoping this resonating with you all, because we got to start thinking about our investing and really why we're afraid to invest in ourselves to get support. It makes absolutely no sense. And along with fear of investing your time, I often hear from a lot of folks is that, I hear this oftentimes on sales calls when folks talk about they want to join the program. And then we start talking about the investment in our program. And then we always hear, a lot of folks say, well, I've already spent money on tuition. And because of that, I don't want to spend any more money. That's literally what I hear. But then a lot of times I ask, well, how long have you been working on your dissertation with no progress? And I'll get answers, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, as much as 10 years. And the fact that you won't get help and you've already like expressed frustration because you spent so much money in tuition, it makes no sense. That is not, that's not to your benefit. At this point in the process, my always question to you folks who say that to me is when you say, hey, I've already spent so much in tuition, I don't want to give up any more money. My reply is always back, well, has your investment in your tuition gotten you the return that you needed so far? And the return you said you needed oftentimes is finishing your dissertation proposal or final defense. When I ask that question, most of the time the reply back will be, no, it has not. So then my question is rightfully so, is that you're so concerned with the money you're putting out tuition, but you are literally wasting thousands of dollars by not getting through, and you're just throwing money in the toilet because you have not gotten the progress that you needed. And in a grand scheme of things, dissertation coaching would not exist. Let's be quite frank. But the fact of the reality is, you all know who your dissertation chairs and committees are. They're a lot of times very busy people who may not have all the time that you might need to get that kind of structured, dedicated support to get through this process. And that's why I say there's nothing wrong with getting the support. But if you have this mindset that it's a cost and I've already paid so much in tuition, literally that is going to dictate where you go in this journey. And especially if you say my goal was to finish, and so far you doing it your way has not yielded the results that you want. Like, y'all, it makes absolutely no sense to be like that. And shout out to Garth and beloved AP who just joined on Instagram. Thank you all for dropping in. But again, when we think about, and you keep telling yourself you don't have the money to invest because you already spent money on tuition, you have literally limited yourself from getting the transformation of finishing your dissertation if you need to help. Again, this is not for everybody, but if you literally have been stuck in the same position, at the time of this recording, it's November of 2022. If you were sitting back in November of 2021 and you're still in the same spot and haven't had any momentum, at some point you got to say, all right, I've tried everything. I've exhausted all the things I can do within my own resources myself. I've invested my time. I've invested my energy. That's not getting me the result. Sometimes you got to then decide to think differently and say, I may need to invest some money to do this because you're not getting what you want to do. And shout out to Benita Child says, I'm planning on signing up this month. I need support. And I see you're on LinkedIn. Good to hear from you, Benita. It's been a little while, so I'm glad to hear that you need the support. And I'll definitely reach out to you after we are done today. Again, it's so important. And I'll always say, right, working in the Velocity Group Coaching Program is not cheap, right? It is definitely an investment in yourself. But first things first, we are always in a belief that our program is to get you an ROI immediately on our costs. Our program is a mid 4-figure investment. So you're going to spend upwards of $6,000 to work with us. That is the cost of the program because we're providing such a strong transformation in such a short amount of time. Literally, we're taking all the guesswork so that you can finish. But imagine, right, if there was a program and I made a promise to you and say, all right, my goal in the next 4 months is to help you finish your dissertation proposal and get you to your dissertation proposal, get you to defense, or your final dissertation and get you to your final defense. But I said the investment to get that would only be $600. Would you believe me? Like, let me know in the comments. Would you have believed me if I said I can get you that whole transformation? I'll get you done in the next 4 months for $600. I know the crowd that attracts to us, and I know that is not the case. You all are folks that really believe in quality. You believe in having the best, and you couldn't imagine such a big promise that you're going to finish your proposal defense and get to your proposal defense or final defense in 4 months, and the cost for that $600. You definitely would be asking, well, what's wrong with the program, and what are you doing that I haven't been able to figure out quite yet? And that's why we provide a luxury experience for y'all, because we want you all to really be able just to focus on getting the work done, and we help you take the guesswork out. But a lot of you are still stuck in the mindset, and you fear that this idea that, man, I've already invested so much, I don't want to invest anymore. but like y'all not getting the result. And I want you all out. Like you all are doing impactful research. And shout out to also Dr. Jada Suber. She was not a client of ours, but I interviewed her on an office hour episode, and she just got her doctorate out of University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and she does research on peanut allergies. And literally, my daughter, Leah, is 4 years old. She has a peanut allergy. So Dr. Suber's work on peanut allergies and eradicating peanut allergies is going to be something that saves my daughter's life in the future. So it's like, I want you all to finish because there's so much work to do out here. And the fact that you would limit yourself to saying, I don't want to invest because I've already paid in tuition, you really have impacted your growth because you have the opportunity to change lives. And you being stuck in ABD land makes absolutely no sense when you can get the help that you need. And I want to give you a different example outside the program where you might imagine that if it was something that was so valuable, there would be no way it could be a low cost. Let me just imagine, because I had to look this up because, right, I like cars. I wanted to look into cars, right? Let's just take this, for instance. I wanted to look up, I was looking into the 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG 4MATIC Coupe. Again, I'm looking at the 2023, type it, you can Google it. Google the 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG 4MATIC Coupe. And then also include that you want, like I want the AMG Classic Red and Black Executive Leather. Y'all, that car is fly, man. I'm trying to tell you that red and black interior. Like I can't do it right now with the little one because 4-year-olds, y'all know anything about kids, they will destroy you'll destroy everything, including your car with all the candy and toys and food and all that. But man, when you see this car, it is a thing of beauty. Type it in again, 2023 Mercedes-Benz AMG 4MATIC Coupe. It has I want the AMG Classic Red and Black exclusive leather. That thing is fly. That is a great car. I love how it looks. I just love it, right? But let's imagine, and it runs retail, right? It says 90+ thousand on the website. It's probably gonna cost you 120. I don't know, probably 150. You put all the bells and whistles, I'm gonna assume, on the car, right? But let's imagine, right? You said, I got this car, and let's say you had the cash to do it, but then you went to the dealership, you went to get the car, you said, I want everything. I want it with the AMG Classic Red and Black exclusive leather. I want the car exactly how I want it. And then the dealer said, great, all it will cost you is $10,000. Let me ask you, would you take that car? You might be saying like, man, that's a great deal, but what's wrong with that car? I know that car goes for 120, but they're offering it to me for 10. Something's going wrong. Either it's just the shell and there's nothing on the interior. Either that classic red is classic plastic red. Like something's going on where the car is just messed up. And again, some of us think about getting support in this same way. And a lot of you all are not willing to invest in yourselves, but want such a big, enormous result, but only want to spend pennies to get it. And I get we all have a budget. But again, when you're trying to get your doctorate, like this is an infinite return. And literally, we were talking about this yesterday during our coaching call. Shout out to Vince. He brought the question up, like, Dr. Goins, am I going to get a return on my investment with this doctorate? I'm like, absolutely yes. I think next week or the week after, we're going to talk about how to get your investment with getting your doctorate done and how to make money from your doctorate. There's an infinite return on getting your doctorate, but a lot of us get caught up in this thought, like, I'm never going to pay off these student loans and all this stuff. But if you use your doctorate the right way, you can generate a lot of money for yourself because you are positioning yourself as an expert. And my thing is like, do you believe over the course of the next, I would say, year that you could make an extra $6,000 at work or in consulting? If you really think you couldn't do that, then don't work with us. But you all know that you can make an extra $6K pretty easily with the doctorate. And you all know that you have expertise at that point that commands more salary. A lot of y'all may be doing it for the salary in the first place. So again, this is really important. And again, I see a lot of folks that decide not to invest and get the help because they are afraid of making the investment in terms of monetary investment. But you all are continuously having to stay enrolled in doctoral programs. We're literally trying to help you cut off the time that you're spending in the program. And just think about our case with Dr. Sorensen, who I mentioned earlier in this episode about her experience. She was thinking that she wouldn't finish until sometime maybe spring 23. That was going to be another semester she was going to have to pay for tuition of some sort. Her working with us and investing literally cut off a semester of no tuition. So she's already recouped money by not having to spend on an extra semester. These are the things we're trying to help folks to do in the dissertation process, but it first takes you being willing to invest in yourself. And so again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I see Benita says probably not. When I was talking about the example of, if we were given this big transformation, we gave it to you for $600, would you believe it? You probably said probably not. And also that car. I'm telling y'all, check out that car, man. That car is fly. The AMG, I'm trying to tell y'all, that car is nice. I saw the price tag. It's like, whoo. that's 120,000. But if they gave it to me for 10, I definitely wouldn't believe the dealer. I'm like, something's wrong with this car. And that's the same thing. You're investing, working with us in a luxury experience so that you can get this dissertation done. But most importantly, you got to put the time in first. That's why I talk about time is important. Why you fear getting support because you feel like you don't have the time. Getting this dissertation done is going to require the time. Secondly, getting the dissertation done working with us is going to require an investment of money. And here's the relationship between money and time. When you invest a high ticket price, what I found is that folks are more in tune with getting things done. They're going to show up to all the calls. They're going to best believe they're going to use all the resources that you provide because you have invested in yourself, invested at a high price. It's not something that you say, "Oh, I'll just get back to that later." That wasn't anything. That was $20. Whatever. When you invest thousands of dollars in yourself, you're like, "Look, I need to hurry up and get this thing done. I don't got a lot of time. I don't have time to play. I'm really going to put the work in and get present the energy I need to get this thing done." And this is what I do know with my folks who are entering the dissertation process. And so again, if something resonated with you, please let me know. And for those who are just tuning in, I'm Dr. Ramon Goings, founder of Done Dissertation and host of Done Dissertation Office Hours. And at Done Dissertation, we help support doctoral students by demystifying the dissertation process so that they can write and defend a dissertation in 1 year or less. And our goal in our Done Dissertation Velocity Group coaching program, who is sponsoring this episode, is to help you as a doctoral student get to your proposal defense or final defense over the next 4 months. We're trying to help you get everything written so you get ready for your defense. If you're someone who's looking for that support and ready to get through the dissertation process, I invite you to learn more about our program and to apply at www.velocitydissertation.com. And if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, if you can type this link in the comments, that'll be very helpful. Again, it's www.velocitydissertation.com, just so folks can grab at it. And you all probably see it in the caption as well, but we'll drop one in the comments for folks too. And thank you for everybody who's tuning in so far. If you got any questions on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely will pull them up if you have any questions. If you have questions about the program, feel free to ask your question. I'll be happy to chat with you. And if I have any current clients on any of these or past clients, let me know. I'd love to bring you on. You can talk about your own experiences. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't hear from you. I want to hear from somebody who's been in your program." So if you're one of those people, just shoot me a message real quick and I have my stuff. I'll bring you on. Well, it's on Instagram. If it's on Instagram, add yourself on. I'll bring you on. If not, on Facebook or LinkedIn, just let me know and shoot me a message. And so again, we've talked about so far that a lot of folks are afraid to invest in dissertation support because they feel like they don't have the time to do it. And then secondly, they feel like they don't want to give the money because they already spent thousands of dollars in tuition. But here's what I do know is that I found we kind of peel back the layer again. It's like I find like a lot of folks fear in investing in dissertation support because you're afraid of admitting to yourself that you have not been able to do this process alone. And that's a hard pill to swallow because in our doctoral programs, it's kind of like as you've been in coursework, the communication from professors at times, and this is something I'm working with on professors on my end, is like we tell doc students like yourselves, like, hey, dissertation process, you're on your own. Like I'm trying to give you the skill set so that you can fly solo. And sometimes I think a lot of us as students take that on wholeheartedly. And I want to say that sometimes is not right. And for what ends up happening, and I'm a firm believer, is that while doc programs condition us to be individuals in this journey, which you should be, right? You have to do this process. There's some individual work that goes into it for you to develop the process. It's an idea comes out of your brain, but the dissertation is definitely a team sport. The dissertation is most certainly a team sport because you need folks, you need your dissertation chair, you need your committee, you need your accountability partners, which I talked about last time on office hours, you need your reality check partners, you need a team in place to get through this process. But what I found is that so many folks are afraid to invest in coaching and support because you're afraid of admitting that you haven't been able to do it on your own. And let me tell you this, your favorite academic, your favorite researcher that you're reading right now, I don't care what area you're in, whoever's the top researcher in your area has had a coach in some capacity at some point in their career, without a doubt. Has had help, has had a mentor, has had somebody to guide them and put them in different places, give them different suggestions, give them advice on how to publish in those top tier journals. All of us have had support in a coach and mentor. And so that's why I say it's a little unfair to you as a doc student to feel, hey, you got to do this all alone. When we as faculty, and again, I'm speaking as faculty, so I know both sides of this thing, is that we also get support. Like for me, I've invested in getting support to help build Done Dissertation. Shout out to Jasmine Womack, was one of my coaches who helped me write and put the kind of develop 14 secrets to a Done Dissertation, and then also helped me kind of really build out my business. Even as a speaker, I go around giving talks at different universities across the country, and I have a speaking coach. Shout out to Dr. Jenna. Shout out to Dr. Jenna Dyson Williams. Like I've had coaches and support that help me. And this is the thing, when you realize that you can't do it yourself, you get the support because what you're paying for is to have someone who has a proven process to help you streamline it. Most certainly with this, when you're trying to get help, you definitely want to make sure, and I understand why people would fear this, is that you don't get got in this, especially in this dissertation coaching landscape, right? There are a lot of just shady coaches out here that are taking folks' money. So I definitely want you to do your due diligence and definitely do it on us as well. Like, feel free to reach out to our past clients, look at the testimonials, go on the website, come into the lives. Like I do this every week. Like I've been showing up since 2020 on this online. I've been doing this offline since 2013. Like literally, I've been in this game for a long time helping folks. And then the proof is not based on what I say, the proof is on our clients. Like our clients out here killing it. And that's what you need. But it first takes you admitting that, hey, I need support, and then you go seek support. And again, do your due diligence. Like it's really important that you do so. And we're here to help and help guide you. Even if it's to a point where you can't work with us, we'll point you in the right direction of somebody else that might be better fit for what you need. Again, we're not in this business to take from folks and we really want to help people get to where they got to go. But it first takes, as I mentioned, an investment of your time. It's going to take an investment in terms of monetary investment. And it's going to take an investment of ego and actually lowering your ego and actually with the belief that, that I need help. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get help. And again, I hope that was helpful for somebody as you're thinking through this. And if you have any comments or questions, please do feel free to drop them in. And I'm looking around my LinkedIn and Facebook just for folks, just in case you dropped a comment. Because again, it's really important that you all start getting the help that you need to finish your doctoral program. My goal is to help folks get through. It excites us when folks get through. That's why I'm excited for Dr. Sorensen. I got another client who's definitely on the verge of getting ready to finish, probably within the next 3 weeks. And I got another one who's right behind her and should be finished in the next month and a half. Like, so y'all gonna start seeing a lot of our graduates. And I got 2 other ones I just saw. They posted on Facebook that they finished data collection. They're writing up their findings. So like now is the time. Like folks are getting out of these programs, and sometimes you need the momentum, you need the support to get out, and it's okay to get help. And so again, I wanted to talk about that. And again, today's episode, for those who are just tuning in, again, I'm Dr. Ramon Goins, founder of Done Dissertation. And this episode is sponsored by the Done Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program. It is a 4-month coaching program with the goal of helping a doctoral student who's at the proposal phase get to their proposal defense, or if you're past proposal defense, getting to your final defense and being done with your dissertation and earning your letters over the next 4 months. So if you're ready, instead of years finishing your dissertation, to finish it in months, I want you to visit www.velocitydissertation.com to join and apply for the Velocity Group Coaching Program. And shout out to everybody who's been tuning in so far. I want to say I appreciate each of you all. I see some folks on YouTube and Facebook right now and Instagram. I appreciate you all for dropping in. And please let me know if you have any questions. Shout out to Court LMC, who has just dropped in on Instagram. Good to see you. And the last point I want to make tonight before I jump off and take any other questions that you all have is that, when we start talking about why we're afraid to invest in dissertation support, again, it's around time. Do I have the time to put this in? Do I have the money, or am I willing to do whatever it takes to invest in myself? And then am I willing to say, okay, I wasn't able to do it myself? Those are big key pieces. But here's a big piece of why I think a lot of you all may fear investing in dissertation support. You may be afraid to invest in yourself because deep down you have lost your sense of purpose for doing your dissertation, and in fact are just burnt out. And honestly, it appears easier to quit than to get help that you need to finish. And so again, I want to say that for you all to make sure that you all hear what I'm saying is that, again, I see a lot of folks who are afraid to invest because deep down you have lost your sense of purpose for doing the dissertation. Your doctoral program has beat you down and you are burnt out. And it honestly just appears easier to quit than it is to get help to finish. And the reason why I say this is not coming from me. I had a conversation. We call folks who have reached out to us in the past to work with us. And yesterday I was making some calls to some folks who had expressed interest in working with us. And I had one call, and shout out to her. She knows who she is if she watches this. We had this conversation, and she talked about that she had a lot of life circumstances where she had to take a pause on the dissertation process and work through the mental health as well as making sure family life was all good. And that was great. And then during our conversation, she mentioned to me, she said, Dr. Goins, when you talk to other folks, I want you to tell them and talk more about, because a lot of us have lost our purpose and have lost our passion for what we're doing. And a lot of us are burnt out from this life. And that gets in the way of finishing. even though we know we need help. And so when we had that conversation, it really resonated with me because I know a lot of us just have so much going on that is getting in the way. So deep down, you're like, I don't even know why I want to do this anymore. Because some of you all went into your doctoral program with this idea of like what research was. You found out it was something different, and as you've gone through this process, particularly for scholars of color, you've been beat down by just systemic racism in doctoral programs, and I see it over and over and over again. And I see a lot of folks, in particular, Black women, who are pushed out of doctoral programs because of these experiences. And sometimes what ends up happening is that you just need support and a guide to help you navigate these things if you want to finish your program. Because a lot of us have very innovative research that sometimes the academy can't even wrap their heads around because it's so outside the norm of what people typically do. And again, it's for a lot of us, when we have great ideas, it happens all the time. And so sometimes it shows up where you're a chair, maybe doing things that are conflicting with what you have going on. You may have a co-chair situation. The co-chairs don't get along. It's all these like people and personnel issues that get in the way. And because you're trying to manage those things yourself without a help and guide on the side, you're getting burnt out because you're trying to write your dissertation and manage all of these people and their foolishness at times. And you're like, how do I ever do this? Let alone I got life, I got children, I got responsibilities, and I can't even get straight feedback from my committee on what I need to do. Like I know what it happens all the time. And because of that, you say, I'm fearful of actually getting help because at this point the task seems so insurmountable that even help won't get me to where I need to go. And I want you all to really know that that is not the case. Getting help is exactly what you need. And we help a lot of our clients like navigate politics. That's a big piece of what we do because the dissertation, the writing, we teach you that in our curriculum. Like once you get into the curriculum, you'll know how to approach all the sections, but sometimes it's the politics is the issue. That's why I always believe, and I always tell people that our process of done dissertation is a 3P formula. First, we got to have the right people in place and learn how to navigate the people and the politics. Then once we have that together, we have to make sure we have a firm understanding of the process. And then that will equate and give us the product that we want, a great dissertation and one that's done. But a lot of us get so focused on getting the product done and doing the writing that we forget about the people. And so a lot of our job at Done Dissertation is, and our coaching is to help you navigate the people, as well as help inform that your writing is at the standard that they want to see. And then when they have feedback and suggestions, we help you navigate how do you respond to feedback and those types of things. That is really where the magic is in the Done Dissertation Velocity Group coaching program. But it all starts with you recognizing that you are burnt out and you trying to do all the things yourself has not yielded the result that you want. And it is okay to get help. But it's just so hard when I see folks make it so easy just to quit. When you put all this time, you've invested your time, you invested money in tuition, but you're right at the edge. And just imagine that, with a little more investment in yourself, investment in time, money, and process within the next year. And within the next year, I'm talking about people at the proposal phase. It is definitely common for folks to finish quicker than 1 year working with us. You all just have to be willing to make the investment in yourself to do so. And again, we're always at Done Dissertation trying to help you all make the best decision, whether that's working with us or not, because we still want you all to finish what you have started. You all have great ideas of where you want to go with this thing, and I want you all to get where you want to get to in the process. And so again, don't let your stubbornness and your just unwillingness to get help be the reason why you don't finish. And with that, if you need help and you need support, if you're somebody, make sure that you apply to work with us. You can get our application and learn more about our program at www.velocitydissertation.com. You can learn more about the program. You can apply. You can hear testimonials from other clients, folks who have finished, folks who are got their proposal to their proposal defense with us. We have people at all gamuts of the process, and this is a great environment to be in, to have the support, to have a community of scholars across the world at this point who are getting things done. Because right now I have somebody who's in the program who currently lives in Kuwait, 2 folks who are in California. It's a great group of people to be involved with. And again, we do that because we know that community is really important to finishing the dissertation. But first, you got to get rid of the fear of investing in yourself. And so with that, I would love to take any questions that folks might have. If you're on Instagram, you want to jump on and ask your question live, you can feel free to do so. If you want to have more of a dialogue, please let me know what questions you all have. Again, I want you all to get the help that you need to finish your dissertation. And again, shout out to Dr. Sorensen. We're so proud of your done dissertation, for you doing all the things that you need to do to finish your dissertation and get out of that program quick. 4 months in and out. with writing like 6 chapters over like 2.5 months. Like it could be done when you have the support and you put the time and effort in. So, any questions for folks as you are thinking about this right now? And thanks to Benita for dropping in comments. I appreciate you as always. Any other questions? Shout out to Marjorie for jumping on. I don't know if you have a question, Marjorie, or just let me know. Thank you for folks for tuning on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Again, we want to help you all get through. So if you need help or know somebody needs help, make sure you send them to www.velocitydissertation.com. And y'all be on the lookout. We got something cooking up for y'all in the next week or two. You'll start hearing more about something we're getting ready to run. So make sure that if you're not part of our on our email list yet or part of our community, make sure you go to our website and grab one of our guides and join our email list. No, thank you, Benita. I appreciate you for dropping on. I'm gonna shoot you. I'll give you a call when this is all over. I'll give you a call and check in and see what's going on. And I know you need some support, so we can talk through what that would look like. I'll give you a call after we're done. Any questions before we jump off for the evening? Again, I hope this was helpful for folks. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in on Instagram. If you let me know who you are in the comments, I'd love to shout you out. Perfect, Marjorie. Definitely check out the offerings, and I'll shoot you a message, Marjorie, after we get off here, and make sure that I'll follow up with you, and I'll definitely drop you a note. I'm just writing down your Instagram. Are we friends, Marjorie? If not, make sure you add us. I think I have you. Your name looks familiar, so I just want to make sure um, we have you so I can follow up with you. Perfect. And Benita asked a great question. She said, "Does the tuition to work with us cover their entire process?" So it depends on where you are, Marjorie, in the program. Um, so it will cover 4 months with us. And so for a lot of our clients for 4 months, usually it gets them to either their proposal defense or final defense. So just a matter of where you are in the process. Some folks are sometimes in between where they come to us like as they're approaching their proposal defense. And then if so, we usually try to fast track them so they can hurry up and go through IRB, collect their data, and then be able to write up their findings within that 4 months. But we definitely have offerings for our alum that are never talked about on the website or anywhere. It's only for our alum who have been through our program on ways that you continue working with us in different capacities. Everybody's at a different spot once they get through the 4 months with us. And so that's something we can talk about, and I'll give you a call and we can chat about that. Jesse, good to hear from you. Jesse, I was following up. I gave you a call. I know you're still waiting on your proposal defense date. And sometimes as Jesse's one of our clients, she was in our May cohort. And for Jessie, she had finished her proposal and just was waiting for the committee. And sometimes these are the things that as a program we could never, we don't have any control over your committee. Heck, y'all don't have control over your committee on how they do, but you can do all the things that you need to do to have everything prepared. So like in Jessie's case, Jessie was able to finish her proposal. Then we made sure that her proposal defense stuff was all together. So she already has a proposal defense slides, all that's ready to go, has already run through a proposal defense, and has IRB ready to submit once this proposal happens. And again, sometimes in this process, in this journey, it's sometimes not things that you can control, but you've done all the work on your end. So our promise is for you is if you stay with our program and you follow the roadmap, that you will have all the deliverables done on your end. And sometimes it's just waiting on committees. And that's something that you just never know. This is why we help you try to coach you on how to work with the committees as best as you can. Because there are cases like Jesse's where you got to wait sometimes. And it's unfair because she's been done for a while trying to get through and has great work. And Jesse, I don't know if you're back at home, but I hope you're all safe. I know the hurricane was coming because I was going to message you because I had a speaking engagement in Florida and then it got canceled due to the hurricane that's coming, Hurricane Nicole. So I hope all is well. And so, Marjorie, the cost of the program, if you go on our website and you go to click the application, it is a mid 4-figure investment. And so depending on where you are and what option you select, you'll be somewhere in the $5,000 to $6,000 range. So again, check out our website so you can learn more in particular and apply. But again, I'll follow up with you on that question as well. Any other questions from folks? But Jesse, I'm glad to hear that all is going well. I'm excited for you. And y'all, that's one thing about the Dissertation. We are a family. Like, we want people to win out here. So like, even when you finish and have worked with us and you're just waiting and you've done all the things you need to do, like, we still keep up with you because we want to see you all succeed. That's the whole goal of this thing. Is to really just help folks. We want y'all to get out of this program and not be stuck forever. Um, Makes no sense. Again, you all are doing great research. Again, and then again, shout out to Dr. Jada Suber. Again, not a Done Dissertation client, but interviewed her on an office hour episode number 12. And she is a researcher on peanut allergies. And like, so she just defended her dissertation and now going to do research that's going to impact the lives of so many. I know a lot of us have kids or may have a peanut allergy ourselves. And Dr. Suber is the one that's going to change all that for us. So, again, you all have impactful research to do. And I just hate for you all to be stuck spinning around because you don't have the support that you need to get through. Are there any other questions, thoughts, or comments? All right, I don't see them. Just double checking LinkedIn. I know sometimes we're on a slight delay, so I just want to check in just to make sure. Great question. Great question. The question is, good evening from Tennessee. He said, I'm in the process, future Dr. Davis. He said, I'm in the process of starting my comprehensive exam. When is the best time to sign up prior to starting defense proposal? So I guess a couple questions, and I can follow up with you as well. Or what you can do is follow up. Just send me a DM, and that way, because I have a follow up question for you. But really, it's about in your university process for your comprehensive exam. Is it like a time bound comprehensive exam where you have like a month to turn it around? Like, I just need know a little bit more about the comp process at your university to kind of give you more direction. And then also, while taking comps at your university, do they allow you to, or are they requiring you to like be enrolled in a class, or are you simultaneously doing comps and writing your proposal? Like, give me a little bit more information and I can give you more suggestions. So typically what will happen, our program is best for folks who typically have gotten through comps and are able to work on their proposal. And typically you will have a chair. And if you don't have a full committee in place, you will at least be working on getting that full committee in place within, let's say, the next 30 to 60 days. So that, because our goal is to fast track you so that over the next 4 months, in your case, is to have you ready for proposal defense. You haven't put all the work in and done the writing, us giving you feedback on your work, you putting all the the work in. Our goal is to have you done over the next 4 months. So if your program allows you to do that, then I would say it would be a great time to probably join us. Will be in January for our January cohort. If I'm thinking how your program might be structured, you're probably doing comps right now, and maybe it's due by the end of the semester. Again, give me a little more information, and I can give a more definitive answer on when the best time would be. I know every doctoral program, like, having worked with so many different doctoral programs, we've seen so many different ways about how comps are done, how everything is done. Like, even at my own university where I'm a professor, my doc students themselves, they get 90 days to do their comps. They have 2 questions over a 90-day period. So it takes a whole semester typically for them to do comps. So it just depends on how your university is structured. But that's a great question. Any other questions? I'll stay on for a little bit if you have more questions. There's a lot of Tia Davis. I'll make sure I follow up with you as well. I'm just writing your name down. Marjorie, any other questions that you got? What's up, Carrie? What's going on? Shout out to Carrie on Instagram. Shout out to the director of marketing. So if you see all the dope stuff that's happening in terms of like just the content online, Carrie is the person. So if you have a business and you need help in terms of marketing and support, definitely want to reach out to Carrie Henderson. You'll follow her, find her on our Instagram page. You definitely need to reach out to her if you need the support. Any other questions? That's a great one about where you are in the process. Again, shout out to everybody who's dropping in. It's good to see folks on the Done Dissertation Culture Program Facebook page. Shout out to y'all for tuning in. Let me know in the comments who's on. Like, let me know where you're coming from, so I know I can follow up with people. I love to see who our community is and where you all are coming from. Because one thing is that just real quick before we jump off is that we were looking at sales on 14 Secrets to Done Dissertation, and we noticed like while a lot of our sales are in the U.S., we're getting sales from Brazil, Germany, the UK. So it's crazy to think about how this thing has grown. Where we're getting folks who are reaching out. Like literally, we had 3 applications come in the last 2 days. one from Croatia, another one from Hungary. It's just amazing to see the universal need that doc students have across the world, which is amazing. And so you all definitely need to get the support, because what's going to end up happening, you sit around and wait, and then our cohort fills up because we keep things, tight knit, just so we can provide a really, really great experience for folks. And so we don't want our program to be too big in our cohorts. And so if you don't get in and that thing we fill up, we always say you got to wait, just because we want to make sure that we provide the ultimate experience for every person that comes to the program. So again, shout out to everybody who tuned in. I want to say thank you all so much. If you could do me a favor, as this is ending, do me a favor and hit the share button. Share this with somebody. If you're on Instagram, share this, share it with somebody. Share our contact with somebody that might need help and need support. Facebook, Instagram. Share this, on your feed, on LinkedIn. Share this on your feed so other folks can get the insights from today's conversation, because I see like a lot of folks found a lot of value from it. And again, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. There's another episode of the Dissertation Office Hours. I look forward to seeing you all next week. If you need help to get through the process, make sure you reach out to us at www.velocitydissertation.com to learn more about the Dissertation Velocity Group Coaching Program, to get the help that you need so you can finish your dissertation proposal or final defense in the next 4 months.